So has fashion lost its mystery? Once a world cloaked in mystery, seduction, and creative awe, fashion today often feels cracked open, dissected, and served to us in viral clips and unboxing hauls. But is that a bad thing, or is it just the natural evolution of the industry? So hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing so well as always. So today's video is more of a speculative piece, and it's sort of a response to the recent wave of content that I've seen on the so-called downfall of luxury, but also the recent TikTok factory scandals and dupe culture, and generally just the way that social media kind of reveals the inner workings of the fashion industry to us in such rapid speed. And all of this conversation has really made me think, has fashion lost its mystery, and has it changed the way that we think about the industry overall, and what is the real impact of all of this? So that is what we are talking about today. Okay, so we have to start this discussion with a bit of fashion history and a bit of context. So before the times of social media, the public's glimpse into a fashion designer's world came mainly through the carefully worded reviews in publications like Vogue or Harper's Bazaar, and editors like Susie Menkes or Sarah Moa could really control the narrative that they wanted to put out, so they could decide which pieces to feature, how to describe them, and also what designers they wanted to spotlight and push as well. And in that way they did have a kind of control over gatekeeping, and it was this air of exclusivity that really created this mystery. And in a way, this mystery really did make fashion feel more magical, and people often describe this era as the golden age of fashion and fashion journalism. And then of course, in the 2 decades since this point, platforms like Instagram and TikTok have completely reshaped fashion. Catwalks are now live streamed to phones. TikTok and online creators now sit in the front row, and brands are no longer just addressing fashion insiders. They have to craft content for the algorithm and for the masses. And while social media has of course democratized fashion through giving people more access, it has also opened the floodgates in a way, because now we not only see the final product of a fashion piece, but we also see the literal machinery of how it's made. And this kind of access and visibility has undoubtedly stripped away some of fashion's mystique. And the reason why I make this point in this way and word it in this way is because recently there have been a handful of online scandals which has really highlighted how social media and its access can really backfire on fashion in a negative way. So I'm going to go through a few of these examples now, and some of the things that I think are revealing too much about fashion and kind of causing it to lose its mystery. So the first one that we have to talk about is the Chanel bag scandal, and I think this literally happened only a few months ago this year. And a few months ago, Women's Wear Daily posted a video titled "Inside the Factory That Makes the $10,000 Chanel Handbags," and this video and this content was meant to be positive, and it was meant to be a behind the scenes look at how Chanel's iconic 1112 bag is made. But sadly, instead of admiration, this content actually caused a lot of backlash. So quickly after posting this video, the comment section were really filled with criticism, and the customers and the audience was really questioning the high price tag when they could see these kind of industrial production processes. And I think overall people were just confused as to why a piece that they thought was potentially handmade and handcrafted was created with all of this machinery. The next thing we have to talk about is the huge viral moment of the fashion factories on TikTok. So in a response to Trump's tariff hikes, Chinese factories began flooding TikTok with these kind of expose content videos, and they were claiming that luxury goods from brands like Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton and Hermes, and also Lululemon and Nike, I believe as well, were all made in their factories. And some were claiming claiming that they could make a Chanel bag for as little as $300. And while many of these claims from these videos were actually debunked for being not true, so for instance brands like Hermes or Louis Vuitton do actually still maintain a high level of control around their production process, these viral videos still did contribute to the growing skepticism around luxury. And I personally just think this really highlights how social media can allow anyone to lift the veil on fashion, and even false content can erode some of this trust and some of this glamour. Also, finally, I have to mention the downfall of luxury content boom, which I have literally seen so much on YouTube and on social media lately, and I've seen this on channels like Fashion Roadman, Don't Be a Lemon, Vincent Chan, and The Hustle as well. And literally there just are so many people talking about this, but one video that really stood out to me recently was this video from Bliss Foster. So in this video, Bliss argues that luxury fashion is supposed to feel and supposed to be something special, but if we know how it's made and we see literally under the hood of the machinery making these pieces, is it truly special? And if it isn't special, then what even is luxury? And to be honest, I do just want to say that if you work in the fashion industry, then you do know that a Chanel bag being made by a machine doesn't necessarily mean that it is worse quality, or you also know that Hermes is truly a brand that does create bags to the highest level of craftsmanship. But the issue is that this content and this messaging is having a negative impact on the general consensus for the masses on luxury fashion. And just seeing all of the behind the scenes to this level is really making the masses question, what are we really paying for in luxury fashion? I was also recently listening to a Business of Fashion podcast, and it was with the BOF correspondent Lee Takanashi, and he made a really interesting point that successful fashion has always been about escapism, and he said that we are naturally drawn to the brands that do feel bigger than us and that emotionally draw us in. And I do think if we see so much of the behind the scenes, then this kind of escapism and a brand feeling bigger than us is kind of lost in a way. Also, this sentiment kind of relates to another Business of Fashion article that I also listened to recently, and it was a conversation with Emily Oberg, who is the founder of the fashion brand Sporty and Rich, and this was a conversation with the founder of BOF, Imran Ahmed, and they basically discuss how her brand's success is partly due to selling a dream and in a way this kind of fantasy lifestyle. So exclusive vacations, tennis clubs, and South of France vibes, and though some may never get the chance to truly live that life, they can buy the hoodie, and that kind of allure of the brand is what has made it so successful. But just as an example, if viral TikTok videos started showing the true behind the scenes of how these Sporty and Rich hoodies were made, I do think that could strip away some of the fantasy and some of the world building around the brand, and the emotional buy-in might not feel as special to consumers. And I feel like this point really illustrates what's going on in the wider context of luxury fashion at the moment, because really the truth is that mystery sells, and sometimes we don't actually want to know how the magician does the trick, we just want to be dazzled. But with all this context, what are some of the arguments for and against the loss of mystery in fashion being a good thing or not? Some reasons why I do think the loss of mystery in fashion could be a good thing is, of course, democratization. So more access means diverse voices and also perspectives as well. And similarly, I also think when you think about transparency and accountability, so consumers can hold brands accountable for ethical and quality standards, and this can really help push the sustainability conversation forward and allow people to really understand what they're buying into. However, I do also think that there are some equally as relevant points to why the loss of mystery in fashion could also be a bad thing. And the first thing that I want to mention is, of course, the erosion of fantasy. And basically seeing under the hood and seeing every flaw can really take away the magic. And I do think that this overexposure on social media is kind of doing that. And we're almost seeing too much of the behind the scenes. And this could potentially erode some of the fantasy that surrounds fashion and also some of the allure and magic that surrounds certain fashion brands as well. And maybe just in my opinion, this could be a bad thing because it could prevent people from getting into fashion in the first place, or it could make them treasure a piece that they once loved less, or not buy a piece that they would have loved. Also, another point that I want to make in favor of fashion kind of maintaining its mystery is this idea of oversaturation of content, but also access. So again, going back to what Bliss Foster said in his video, he essentially mentions that there are so many ways now to access a fashion brand, whether it's through their social media or through events or through novel experiences and new ventures. So things like cafes or hotels or restaurants. And in the long term, this could actually have a negative effect on a brand, especially a luxury brand, because they almost feel more accessible because there are so many different ways that we could interact with them. So to conclude, has fashion really lost its mystery? To be honest, in many ways, yes. The curtain definitely has been pulled back on fashion, but maybe that doesn't mean that the mystery is gone, but maybe rather it means that the mystery is just evolving into a new concept and a new thing. It's true that what used to be exclusive or hidden is definitely now more interactive and open, but whether that's a good or a bad thing really depends on what you value. Do you value the mysterious fantasy, or do you value the facts? That's really up to you. And I want to conclude and sort of sum up this point with a quote from the fashion reporter Lauren Sherman that I saw in the Substack Threads of Conversation. And in this Substack, Lauren was quoted saying, "These days, successful publishing concepts increasingly focus on providing business intelligence more than the fluff and the magic of yesteryear." And I just feel like this really sums up that, yes, in the past, fashion did have this mystery, this allure, and that was more because of the setup of fashion media, but now the landscape has changed and we do have more access, so the priority has just shifted, and maybe it's not about this fluff and magic as Lauren says, and maybe it is a bit more about the facts, but that doesn't mean that fashion still can't be magical and mysterious, and it just has to be done in a different way. So that is the final thing that I wanted to leave you with, and the final thing that I wanted to say. And like I said, this really has been more of a speculative piece. It's more food for thought, and I'm really intrigued to hear what you think of all these things, whether you think fashion has lost its mystery or not, where you think this is going in the future. And yeah, I would just love to hear what you think of everything we spoke about overall. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, leave a like, comment, message me on Instagram if you want to, and until the next one, I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.